So what is a variable? A variable is an unknown number that stands for a number within an expression or equation. And real quick, just before we go on, we should talk about the difference between an equation and an expression. So an expression is going to be part, so I think of it as one side of an equation. So this here, this is an expression, right? And then the other side is also, this is also an expression. It becomes an equation when we set one expression equal to the other, right? These two things are equal to each other. So the whole thing is an equation, and one side of the equation is an expression, the other side is also an expression, but the whole thing is the equation. So an equation is when two expressions are set equal to each other. So moving along, let's skip coefficient for a second and jump down to substitution. So what is substitution? Substitution is when we replace a number with a variable or a variable with a number again. And a coefficient is the number in front of a variable, and it is always a multiplier. So for example, we've got this 2x here, so the coefficient is 2. For this one, 35x, coefficient is 35. For 4y to the 5th power, the coefficient is 4. For negative 4y to the 4th power, negative 4. Right? It's that number right in front of the variable, and whenever we have it there, we always multiply it. It is the multiplier. So let's scroll down here and take some examples here. So these are all substitution problems. So if I've got z equals 9, then I'm going to take this z and I'm going to plug it in, or take this 9 and plug it in for z. So I would say, okay, 5 plus, this is the coefficient, 2, and it's a multiplier, so I'm going to multiply it times 9 minus 4. And from here on out, it's just order of operations. So 2 times 9 is 18, plus 5 minus 4. So 5 plus 18 is 23, minus 4 is going to be 19. So let's try this next one. I want you to pause the video and see if you can try this next one. Okay, let's see if you got it right. So I'm going to take this q. Q is 3, and I'm going to take that 3 and I'm going to plug it in for q. So my new problem would look like this. 6 times 3, because q equals 3, to the 2nd power plus negative 4. So first thing we got to do, parentheses, nothing to do inside that parenthesis. So next we have the exponent, that exponent to the 2nd power. So I'm going to go 3 to the 2nd power. And 3 to the 2nd power, remember, is the same as 3 times 3. So that's going to be 9. So we have 6 times 9 plus negative 4. So next we're going to do multiplication. So I see this multiplication problem right there. So 6 times 9 is 54, plus negative 4 is 50 for a final answer. So take a minute and see if you can do this last problem. And we've got a couple variables here. So, and look at, we've got this a, b right next to each other. So whenever I've got two variables right next to each other without any space, that means multiplication. So what we're supposed to do there is we're supposed to be multiplying A times B. A is 7, B is negative 2, so we're going to multiply 7 times negative 2. So that's the whole point there. So let's rewrite our problem. So I've got 3, and that's a coefficient, times A, which is 7, and B, which is negative 2, times negative 2, plus 4 times C. Just do that one in black, times negative 5. So first we got to do parentheses. Nothing to do in that one, nothing to do in that one, nothing to do in that one. They're already simplified as far as they'll go. Next we have exponents. No exponents in there, so we're good on exponents. Multiplication, division, we've got 3 times negative 2, so that's going to be negative 14 times 3, which is, we'll do in a minute, and then 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. 4 times 5 is 20, so 4 times negative 5 would be negative 20. And then 3 times negative 14, that's going to be negative 42, plus negative 20. If I borrow $42 and then I borrow another 20, I would owe you $62. So that's our final answer. So what you are expected to do, you're expected to do these practice problems here, 1 through 8. I've included the answers here. This is, so you should be checking your answers as you go. Just substitute in the numbers, and then after that, it's just your order of operations, which we've been doing for the past couple days.